This is the Chefs Inc. News Podcast. News for chefs, created by chefs.
Guten Tag and welcome back to Chefs Inc. News. I am Chef Antonio and happy Halloween, mein Freunde. Today we have a spooky show, but the scary things we're talking about are very real. We have food aid programs that might freeze, robots that are cooking in kitchens, and barbecue chains giving away free ribs to kids. Holy schnitzel, this is going to be interesting.
And I'm Dr. Sophia, bringing you the strategy behind the headlines. Antonio, today's episode is perfect for Halloween because we're talking about things that genuinely frighten restaurant operators, policy changes, technology disruption, and promotional strategies that could make or break your quarter. News for chefs, created by chefs. Let's get into it.
Ja, genau. So, Sophia, let us start with the topic that I think is most concerning for our industry, this potential food aid freeze. The SNAP program is at risk of lapsing. For people who do not know, what is SNAP and why should restaurant operators care?
Great question. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's what most people used to call food stamps. It provides food purchasing assistance to millions of low-income Americans. And here's why restaurant operators should care deeply. SNAP benefits represent massive purchasing power in the food economy. When SNAP benefits are reduced or delayed, consumer spending drops immediately.
And this affects restaurants how? Because I thought SNAP was mostly for grocery stores, yeah?
Good point to clarify. Well, SNAP is primarily used at grocery stores. The ripple effects hit restaurants hard. Think about it. When families have less money for groceries, they have even less money for dining out. Plus, many SNAP recipients work in the restaurant industry. If their benefits are cut, they're under financial stress, which affects everything from retention to productivity.
Ah, I see. So it is like a domino effect. When people have less money for food in general, restaurants feel the pressure too. And right now, the SNAP program might lapse. What does this mean exactly?
Mira, here's the situation. There are ongoing policy debates about SNAP funding and eligibility requirements. If Congress doesn't act, benefits could be reduced or temporarily frozen for millions of recipients. We're talking about roughly 42 million Americans who currently receive SNAP benefits. That's about $40 billion annually in food purchasing power.
40 billion? That is incredible. That is a lot of money that affects the entire food system. So if I am a restaurant operator, what should I be thinking about right now?
Several things. First, understand your customer base. If you serve a demographic that's already budget conscious, you need to be prepared for potential drops in traffic. Second, consider your menu pricing strategy. This might not be the time for aggressive price increases if your customer base is economically vulnerable. Third, think about value promotions that can attract customers who are watching every dollar.
You know, Sophia, this reminds me of something. During tough economic times, the restaurants that survive are the ones that provide real value. Not just cheap food, but value. Good food at fair prices with good service. This is what keeps people coming back even when money is tight.
Exactly. And this connects to our second story today, which is actually quite optimistic. While economic challenges loom, technology is creating new opportunities for efficiency. ROLO Robotics just raised $3.45 million to scale autonomous kitchens.
Ah, yeah, I read about this. ROLO Robotics. They are doing something very interesting with micro kitchen automation, yeah? Tell us more about this because I find this fascinating.
Absolutely. ROLO Robotics is focused specifically on automating small, compact kitchen operations, what they call micro kitchens. Think food trucks, ghost kitchens, small, quick-service locations. They've developed robotic systems that can handle multiple cooking tasks in very limited spaces.
And they just raised $3.45 million? This means investors believe in this technology, yeah?
Exactly. And this funding round is significant because it shows that kitchen automation isn't just for big chains anymore. Smaller operators can potentially benefit from this technology. The robots they're developing can handle tasks like grilling, frying, assembly, all in a space-efficient design.
You know, Sophia, I remember a few years ago, I was very skeptical about robots in kitchens. I thought, how can a robot understand the feeling of cooking? But now I see these robots are not trying to replace chefs. They are handling the repetitive tasks, so humans can focus on the creative and customer-facing work.
That's the key insight, Antonio. And with labor cost rising and worker shortages continuing, automation becomes not just a luxury, but potentially a necessity for survival. The ROI calculation is getting more compelling every quarter.
But let us be honest, there are challenges too, yeah? What about the concerns? Because I know some chefs are worried about losing jobs, losing the human touch in cooking.
Mira, those are valid concerns. Let's address them directly. First, job displacement. The data actually shows that restaurants adopting robotics aren't eliminating positions. They're redeploying workers to different tasks. Instead of standing at a grill all day, a team member might focus on quality control, customer service, or more complex food preparation.
Yeah, this is what I have seen too. In kitchens using automation, the human workers often have better jobs, less physically demanding, more interesting, more customer interaction. It is like when we went from hand-washing dishes to having dishwashers. Did dishwashers put dishwashers out of work? Nay, they just made the job better and freed people up for other tasks.
Perfect analogy. And here's another important point. Consistency. Robots deliver perfect consistency every time. No variation based on how tired someone is, how busy the rush is, or training level. That consistency translates to customer satisfaction and reduced waste.
And reduced waste is huge right now. With food costs so high, if a robot can reduce waste by even 5 or 10%, that could be the difference between profit and loss for many operators.
Exactly. Now, the evolving role of the chef, this is fascinating. As automation handles more routine tasks, the chef's role shifts towards menu development, quality assurance, customer experience design, and team leadership. It's actually a more creative, strategic role.
I like this. Instead of being stuck doing the same repetitive motion 8 hours a day, chefs can think bigger. They can experiment with new dishes, train their teams better, interact with customers more. This is what I call engineering happiness with butter and robots.
I love that. Bueno, let's talk about our third story today, which is perfectly timed for Halloween. Halloween promotions. Dickey's Barbecue Pit is running a Kids Eat Free promotion. Antonio, as someone who's run kitchens, what do you think when you hear about these calendar-based promotions?
Calendar promotions. They are brilliant when done right, and they are a disaster when done wrong. Let me explain. Halloween is perfect for a Kids Eat Free promotion because families are already out doing Halloween activities. They need to eat dinner somewhere. If you can capture that traffic with a smart promotion, you win big.
And what makes it smart versus a disaster?
The execution, Sophia. You must be prepared. If you run Kids Eat Free, but you are not ready for the volume, you will have angry customers, stressed staff, and bad reviews. But if you prep correctly, staff properly, and have systems in place, you can turn one free kids meal into a full family dining experience that actually makes money.
And let's break down the economics for our listeners. Dickey's is giving away kids' meals free. How does this make business sense?
This is where the strategy is clever. First, kids do not eat alone. When a family comes in for the free kids meal, parents are buying adult meals, drinks, sides, maybe desserts. The average check for the table is still profitable. Second, you are building brand loyalty. Families remember which restaurants treated their kids well. Third, you are driving traffic on what might otherwise be a slower night.
Exactly. And from a data perspective, these promotions are incredibly valuable for capturing customer information. If Dickey's requires customers to sign up or opt in for the promotion, they're building their marketing database. That has long-term value beyond the single transaction.
And you know what I love about barbecue for this kind of promotion? The food holds well. You can prep in advance. Portions are easy to control. It is much easier to do kids eat free with barbecue than with, say, made-to-order pasta or complex plated dishes.
Great operational insight. Now, let's connect all three of our stories today because they're actually related. We have economic pressure from potential snap cuts, we have technology offering efficiency solutions, and we have promotional strategies to drive traffic. How do smart operators think about all three together?
Ooh, this is a good question. Okay, so if I am a restaurant operator right now, I am thinking the economy might get tougher, my customers might have less money, food costs are still high, so I need to get more efficient. Maybe technology can help me with that, and I need to be strategic about driving traffic with promotions that actually make money, not just give food away.
Perfect. That's integrated strategic thinking. Now, let me add a few more layers. If SNAP benefits are cut, you need to understand your local market. Are you in an area heavily affected? Then value-focused menu items become more important. Maybe
This is the Chefs Inc. News Podcast. News for chefs, created by chefs.
Welcome back to the Q&A segment of Chefs Inc. News. Sophia, what questions do we have for our listeners today?
Great. Our first question comes from Carlos in Miami, who listened to our episode last month about seasonal menu changes. He asks, how far in advance should I plan my seasonal menu transitions? And how do I balance offering seasonal specials while keeping my core menu stable?
Carlos, this is such a smart question. I love this. Okay, so for seasonal menu transitions, I recommend planning at least 6 to 8 weeks in advance. Why? Because you need time to test new dishes with your team, train your staff properly, source the ingredients, and market the new menu to your customers.
And Carlos, from a business perspective, I'll add this. You want to balance innovation with stability. Your core menu, the dishes that define your restaurant, should stay relatively stable. Maybe you refresh them annually or when truly necessary. But seasonal specials give you flexibility to experiment, showcase seasonal ingredients, and keep the menu feeling fresh without alienating customers who come for their favorites.
Yeah, exactly. I always tell chefs, your core menu is your foundation. It is what people know you for. But seasonal specials are your opportunity to show creativity, use what is fresh and affordable, and test new ideas. Maybe one of your seasonal specials becomes so popular it earns a place on the core menu.
Perfect example of how to balance both. Next question. Danielle from Portland asks about our episode on kitchen technology. She says, we're a small, independent restaurant with a tight budget. What's the first piece of technology you'd recommend investing in, and why?
Oh, Sophia, this is your expertise. What do you tell Danielle?
Bueno, Danielle, great question. If I had to pick one technology investment for a small, independent restaurant with a tight budget, I would say a modern POS system, point of sale system, with integrated inventory and reporting capabilities.
Really? Not kitchen equipment or automation?
Mira, here's why. A good POS system gives you data on everything. What's selling, what's not, what times are busiest, average check size, server performance, inventory usage. That data lets you make better decisions about everything else. You might discover that certain menu items have terrible margins, or that you're overstaffed on Tuesdays, or that particular servers upsell better than others. This knowledge is worth more than any single piece of equipment.
This is brilliant. Because without good data, you are flying blind. You might invest in the wrong equipment, or change the wrong menu items, or make decisions based on gut feeling instead of actual information. The POS system gives you the eyes to see what is really happening in your business.
Exactly. And modern POS systems aren't as expensive as they used to be. Many are subscription-based at a few $100s a month, and they pay themselves quickly through better inventory management and waste reduction alone. No magic, Just good data driving good decisions.
Wunderbar advice. Okay, our final question for today. Michael from Chicago heard our episode about staff retention and asks, how do I create a positive kitchen culture when we're constantly busy and stressed? It feels impossible to slow down and focus on team building.
Michael, this is such an important question. And I understand the challenge. When you're in the weeds every service, team building can feel like a luxury you can't afford. But actually, strong kitchen culture is what gets you through those stressful services more smoothly.
Yeah, Michael, I understand this struggle because I have lived it. You know what I learned? Culture is not built in special team-building events, although those are nice. Culture is built in the small daily interactions. How you speak to your team when they make a mistake. Whether you say thank you when someone does something well. Whether you listen when someone has an idea. These little moments, they add up to culture.
Beautifully said. And Michael, here are some specific tactics. Start every shift with a brief team huddle. 5 minutes to review the menu, discuss specials, share any important information, and set a positive tone. End each shift with quick acknowledgments of what went well. Create a no-blame culture around mistakes. Focus on fixing the problem and learning, not punishing. And whenever possible, involve your team in decisions that affect them.
And Michael, one more thing. Feed your staff. I am serious. A team that eats good food together, that has a family meal before service where everyone sits down for 10 minutes, this creates bonds. Breaking bread together is the oldest form of community building. Even when you are busy, make time for this. It matters more than you think.
That's such a chef answer, Antonio, and I love it. Food builds connection. And you're right. Some of the best kitchen cultures I've seen prioritize family meal as sacred time.
Yeah, because we work in hospitality, but we must also show hospitality to our own teams. If we do not take care of our people, how can we expect them to take care of our customers?
Perfect insight. And Michael, remember, retention is the new recruitment. In a market where everyone is struggling to hire, keeping your good people is the most important thing you can do. Culture is the glue that makes them stay even when they could get paid more somewhere else.
So true. All right, my friends. Before we finish, here is our listener engagement question for you to think about this week. If you could automate one task in your kitchen to free up time for more creative work, what would it be and why? Think about it and let us know your answers.
Excellent question. And listeners, remember the lessons from today. Stay aware of economic factors affecting your customers. Consider how technology might improve your efficiency and consistency. Use strategic calendar promotions to drive profitable traffic. And always focus on execution and systems.
And remember what Dr. Sophia always says, this is Chefs Inc. News. News for chefs created by chefs. We bring you the information you need to make smart decisions for your business.
Stay strategic, stay resilient, and keep creating amazing experiences for your customers. The industry is evolving, but opportunity exists for those who adapt smartly.
Dankeschön for listening to Chefs Inc. News. Until next time, keep your knives sharp and your Halloween candy sharper. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Just keep your knives sharp and eat some candy. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Feliz Halloween. See you next episode.